You wake up before dawn. There is no hallway. There is no door to close behind you. There's only open ground, a patch of trees, and whoever else happens to be awake. For most of human history, this was not embarrassing. It was just Tuesday. Today, you probably have a locked door, a fan for privacy, and maybe even your phone to scroll through while you sit. That setup feels ancient, permanent, obvious. It is not. It is one of the newest habits your species has ever adopted. For roughly 300,000 years, humans handled this most basic bodily function with almost none of the privacy you take for granted. So how did ancient humans actually go to the bathroom? And why does the answer say more about disease, survival, and even social status than you might expect? Let's start with the obvious problem. Early humans lived in small, mobile bands. No plumbing, no walls, no paper. Just a body that needed to relieve itself several times a day in a world full of predators, parasites, and other people. The first strategy was simple: walk away. Hunter-gatherer groups typically moved off a short distance from camp, often downhill or downwind, and used the same general area repeatedly. This wasn't random. It kept waste away from sleeping areas and food, and it kept the smell from announcing the camp's location to predators or rival groups. Anthropologists studying groups like the Hadza in Tanzania have documented this same pattern in recent decades. Informal but consistent waste zones just outside the living space. It's not sophisticated engineering. It's practical spacing repeated for thousands of generations. But moving away from camp didn't solve the real danger. The real danger was invisible. Piers Mitchell, a paleoparasitologist at the University of Cambridge, has spent years digging through ancient latrines, cesspits, and even mummified intestines to answer one question: what was actually living inside ancient humans? His findings are hard to unhear. Roundworm, whipworm, tapeworm. These parasites thrived wherever humans left waste too close to their water or their food, generation after generation. Decode that for a second. A parasite is simply an organism that lives inside or on another creature and survives by taking resources from it, often causing illness in the process. Once agriculture arrived and people started living in permanent settlements, parasite loads didn't go down, they went up. Density made the ancient bathroom problem worse, not better. You can see this written directly into a body. In 1991, hikers found a mummified man frozen in the Alps, preserved for over 5,000 years. Researchers call him Ötzi. When scientists examined his remains, they found whipworm eggs in his intestines, direct physical evidence that even a Copper Age hunter carried the same invisible parasite burden Mitchell studies in ancient latrines elsewhere. Ötzi wasn't unlucky. He was normal. Almost everyone had something living inside them that shouldn't have been there. Now picture it. Reconstruct the scene. A small band breaks camp at first light, smoke still rising from last night's fire. A woman walks a short distance past the tree line, glances around out of habit rather than modesty, and finishes quickly. There's no ritual to it, no shame attached. It's closer to how you might duck behind a car to tie your shoe than how you think about a bathroom today. Privacy wasn't really the concern, safety was. Was there a predator nearby? Was the ground clear? That mental checklist mattered far more than who might see you. Then agriculture happened, and everything changed. As humans settled into villages, then towns, then cities, waste stopped being something you walked away from. It started piling up right where you lived. This is where the story takes its first real twist. You'd expect civilization to mean progress cleaner, safer, more organized. In many ways, when it came to sanitation, early civilization was actually worse than the nomadic life it replaced. Some ancient cultures solved this early and well. The Indus Valley Civilization, around 2500 BCE, built covered drains and private latrines connected to sewage systems running beneath entire cities, genuinely advanced plumbing for its time. But this was rare. Most early cities didn't get it right for thousands of years. Take Rome, much later. Walk into the ruins of Ostia Antica today, the port city that once served Rome, and you can still see a public latrine. A long stone bench with rows of keyhole-shaped openings side by side, no dividers between them. Wealthy Romans sat shoulder to shoulder over a channel of flowing water, chatting, doing business. while waste flowed beneath them. There was no privacy at all, and that wasn't a design failure. It was the design. Public latrines were social spaces. Sitting next to a senator while relieving yourself wasn't awkward. It was normal life in a city that had, in some ways, made the ancient experience more communal, not less. But that flowing channel had a dark side too. Shared water and shared waste meant shared parasites. Mitchell's research on Roman-era latrines found something that should surprise you. Intestinal worm rates in Roman cities weren't lower than in the primitive societies Rome saw itself as improving on. They were higher. More people packed closer together, using the same channels, meant disease had more chances to spread. Density built empires. Density also built epidemics. So here's the twist worth sitting with. You might assume that as humans got more advanced, hygiene automatically improved. It didn't, not in a straight line. For tens of thousands of years, small, mobile groups spread out across open land actually managed human waste in a way that limited disease exposure fairly well, simply because there were so few people concentrated in one place. It was only once humans settled down, built cities, and packed together that the problem truly exploded, and it would take thousands of years of trial, error, and eventually germ theory in the 1800s before sanitation caught back up to solve a problem cities themselves had created. Think about that the next time you flush a toilet without a second thought. That simple, ordinary act sealed, dividing off waste from water in an instant is barely 150 years old at meaningful global scale. Your body hasn't changed since Ötzi walked the Alps. Your digestive system, your vulnerability to the same parasites, your basic biological needs are identical to a hunter-gatherer's. What changed is everything around you, the walls, the water, the invisible systems working every single time you flush, keeping you separated from a threat your ancestors lived alongside every day of their lives. You probably won't think about toilets the same way again. Ancient humans didn't fear the bathroom. They feared what came after it, the worm in the water, the parasite in the soil, the disease with no name yet. Every time modern plumbing quietly does its job, it's finishing a project your species has been working on for 300,000 years. You wake up, walk into a small room, close the door behind you, and never think twice. For 99% of human history, that door didn't exist, and the space behind it might be the single most underrated survival technology you use every single day.